TheeLitOne, what's poppin'? We are on Twitch. We're not live, but by the time you see this, we still won't be live. So just leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK. Right behind me, you see a little warning screen. We probably need it. It's there. Twitch.com is where you can catch a live stream, along with YouTube.com, of course. Usernames on the bottom of the screen. And we also got Patreon, Monday through Sunday, Premier League highlights, UK TV shows, UK movies. I ain't watched no crime documentary in a minute. This is UK crime documentaries. That's their channel. British-Pakistani family exposed in a 14 million pound booger sugar airport bust. UK true crime documentary. Hopefully they let me post this, but who knows, man. Talk to me.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. No copyright infringement intended. All rights belong to their respective owners.
Alright. It say Tuesday behind me.
2024, just after 10 a.m., the atmosphere at Birmingham Airport seemed
I will be flying into Birmingham Airport October 23rd, so stay posted. Make sure y'all locked in on my IG so y'all know how I'm moving or where I'm going, so y'all can follow the stories and I can go live with y'all on there so we can create these videos and I can drop them for y'all.
ordinary. Flights landed, passengers collected luggage, and the flow of travelers continued without interruption. But among the routine movements of the arrivals hall, three separate stories of crime would soon collide in the public eye. Stories involving a mother who pulled her children into a criminal plot, a dealer whose carelessness revealed
That's a toupee. That's not real hair. There's no way.
more than he intended, and a man who thought he could walk calmly through customs with a fortune in drugs. This is the story of their downfall and how their actions exposed the darker undercurrents flowing through Britain's airports.
Do people think... Nah, I got a real question. Alright, when Pablo Escobar was moving, way back when they first started the billion-dollar industry of Class A's, alright, you might have been able to slide through the airport. Not no more. This is a risky move. This is like the top tier, most risky move right here. Why do you even do this? You know what? I used to work with somebody who looked like this guy. Like, when I say look like him, I mean the toupee.
Welcome to UK crime documentaries. Let's get straight into the case.
Talk to me then.
On the surface, Farzana Cowzer, a 54-year-old woman from Bradford, lived the life of a typical mother and grandmother. To her community, she seemed like many others.
That's the disguise, obviously. A wolf in sheep's clothing. A very unassuming.
Raising her family, attending to household responsibilities, and presenting the image of an ordinary parent.
Griselda.
But behind that outwardly quiet existence, she was carefully building and directing an international drug trafficking operation valued at millions.
Where was they coming from? Was they coming from Pakistan with the... Because no lie, in Chicago, they're also big in whatever you want to assume that I'm talking about. Allegedly in GTA, Chicago RP.
Investigators would later describe her as the linchpin of a sophisticated network, one that moved vast quantities of cocaine from Mexico to the United Kingdom.
Oh, they was moving it from Mexico.
Cowzer was far from acting alone. Evidence presented in court revealed that she was working with contacts overseas, including a figure referred to as Uncle in Pakistan, who played a role in arranging shipments and providing connections.
He was the middleman. The art of middleman in it.
This shadowy partnership helped her establish a system that on the surface looked like carefully timed family trips abroad. But in reality, it was...
They had both of them down there doing this? Oh yeah, this is wicked.
the foundation of a large-scale criminal enterprise. Her leadership was both calculated and deeply personal.
She don't even look Pakistani. She look Latina.
Unlike many organized crime figures who distance themselves from direct family involvement, Cowzer deliberately recruited her own children into the conspiracy. Some were barely out of their teenage years. Hamza Shafak, for example, was only 17
14.
when the offences took place.
Yeah.
Still legally a minor when the smuggling was underway, his life trajectory was altered irreversibly by the decision to obey his mother's demands.
That's this gotta be the ultimate grooming. These are your own kids. You done groom them from birth. They can't really say no to you. If I was a snitch, I was an officer. I was a victim of my circumstances. That's my mom. What I'm supposed to say? She would never steer me wrong.
His siblings, ranging from their late teens to early 30s, were all given roles to play. Her eldest son, Junaid Shafak, 33, took on a central role, helping coordinate travel and oversee operations.
He looked guilty.
His position in the family made him a natural extension of his mother's authority. Alongside him was Muhammad Amir Shafak, 28, who acted as a courier, entrusted with handling luggage runs and taking part in the smuggling activity.
So she had her family hands on. She's using her family members as mules and all?
Umayya Mohammed, 22, became part of the operation at an age when most young adults are just beginning careers or settling into adult life. His role as a courier exposed him to the full dangers of the conspiracy. Cowzer's decision to draw in her daughter-in-law, Sarah Hussein, 27,
daughter-in-law, okay, alright,
widened the circle of devastation. Rather than being shielded from the criminal side of the family, Hussein was instead expected to take part in the broader plot. Safa Noor, just 19 at the time, was another one of the youngest members of the conspiracy. Drawn directly into her mother's plan, she acted as a...
This sucks. All of these people's life ruined. They could, to me as a parent, if you trapping and you doing X, Y, and Z, and you failed as a parent if your kid is doing the same thing. You failed. If you was in the streets and your kids is in the street too, you failed. You want your kids to be better than you. This is...
courier within the network. Her role showed how even the youngest in the family were given responsibilities in carrying out the smuggling operation. Outside the immediate bloodline, Khalid Abdulkawi, 36, a trusted friend of the family, was also recruited. His willingness to join underscored the tight-knit but destructive nature of the group. This was not a loose arrangement. It was a structured hierarchy, with Cowzer at the top. She organized the movements, gave the instructions, and ensured that those beneath her followed through on the plans.
So what if one of her kids was like, nah, I don't want to participate. I'm good. What, did they get disowned? This is if you got to do something like this, you should be telling your kids, okay, you go be a lawyer. So just in case we get into these predicaments, X, Y, and Z, you go be a banker. Obvious reasons. You know what I'm saying? You go be a chemist. Like that, because that way it's more all right, you got a degree, but you can still be in this family business if I need you. But if I don't need you, then shoot, live your life. But straight up, using your family as mules is insane. That's insane to me.
In short, for the family members, it meant loyalty to their mother came at the cost of their own freedom and futures. Whereas for Cowzer, it meant the ability to extend her reach, blending the appearance of ordinary family life with the cold calculation of an international trafficker.
It's no different than any other crime family, though. No lie. Let me just, But, crime families, this is how I go to. So, I'm talking, from, somebody like me. If I was doing XYZ in the streets, I would not want my sons and daughters to do that. But if you, just come from a lineage of this, but they was just starting their own lineage, still, Like, you don't hear of crime families just getting started in 2024. Like a brand new crime family on the scene. Like, nah. If your lineage starts in the 60s, what can we say? You come from a long line of criminals, and your family's net worth is probably $500 million. I got nothing to say, but you talking about brand new crime families in 2024? This is the stuff of a movie.
The true sophistication of the conspiracy lay in the way the gang engineered their airport routine to appear ordinary. On the surface, their movements mimicked those of casual travelers making short breaks to nearby European destinations.
And they was getting through.
But beneath that appearance, the family's travel plans were carefully timed to intercept one specific stream of luggage. Flights arriving directly from Cancun, Mexico, carrying suitcases already packed with high-purity cocaine. The process began with fake short trips.
95.
Members of the group would book tickets to Dublin or Amsterdam, two popular short-haul destinations. They would travel lightly, often with no checked luggage at all. These journeys gave the impression of brief, legitimate getaways. Okay. Crucially, their return flights were deliberately timed to land at Birmingham Airport, just as a long-haul flight from Cancun was arriving. Inside the baggage hall, this timing became the cornerstone of the plan. As passengers from both flights mixed at the carousel area, Cowzer's couriers would move toward the belt serving the Mexico flight. Preloaded suitcases packed with kilos of cocaine.
So what they saying is somebody in Mexico would figure it out, package it up, go to the airport, and put the luggage and go check a bag for a flight. I wonder what they get on the flight. They would have to get on the flight, right? Because if you check a bag, that means you have a ticket. And if you don't report for, like, your seat at the airport, don't they, like... Now, that's an interesting question. And then they would go fandangle it, take a little couple-day trip to Amsterdam, and then come back like, oh, here's my luggage. But it's not there.
Had been checked in at Cancun by a corrupt insider.
By a corrupt insider. Okay, so somebody in Cancun that worked at the airport would be like, all right, you good. Okay, that makes sense.
Conspirators would simply lift the unaccompanied bags off the carousel and roll them out of the arrivals hall, as though they were retrieving their own belongings from their short-haul flight. The brilliance of the method lay in its simplicity.
That is simplistically brilliant. I ain't gonna lie. So I thought they was doing it like I'm gonna catch the flight to Mexico and bring it back. Like, this is a little bit more simple but intricate. It's simple but intricate.
Untrained eye, nothing appeared suspicious. Some reports suggest that international drug trafficking networks had used the same tactic before. It became a repeatable system, tested across at least 5 smuggling runs between August and November 2024, employing Farzana Cowzer's family with similar precision. There was no need for concealed compartments or false-bottomed cases. Instead, the risk was shifted entirely to the moment of interception. Avoiding customs scrutiny was central to the strategy. By behaving like any other returning passenger, dressed casually and avoiding nervous gestures, the couriers counted on slipping through unnoticed. The family's ability to maintain composure was key, since the entire plan rested on appearing normal.
So in Birmingham Airport, luggage from another country that's outside of the EU, or y'all get what I'm saying when I say EU. I know y'all not a part of the EU anymore, but luggage coming from outside of a place that you have a British passport or European passport mixes in the same carousel as local travelers? Where they do that at? I ain't never seen an airport do that. Even though, like, so I've been to London. When I went to London, my luggage. No, it was a whole nother section than the regular stuff. Same with Manchester Airport. Birmingham, low budget, huh?
On the day of November 11th, officers from the National Crime Agency, NCA, and airport security teams had been quietly monitoring a group of individuals.
You could do this? You could do this on a government uniform? Question mark. I'm curious. No, this is a real question. Shout out to the community. I just didn't know.
Whose movements matched a pattern uncovered over several weeks. A group of NCA, and airport security teams had been quietly monitoring a group of individuals whose movements matched a pattern uncovered over several weeks of investigation. They had identified the suspect's travel pattern, and this time, the group's every step was under close surveillance.
Yeah, they always get you.
As the long-haul flight from Cancun, Mexico arrived, members of Farzana Cowzer's group blended in with crowds at the baggage claim. CCTV later revealed how calmly they positioned themselves near the Mexico carousel, waiting for bags that should not have belonged to them. In total, 6 suitcases loaded with high-purity cocaine had been planted on the flight by
it's over. Y'all got caught with that? It's over.
Their overseas contact. The group's task was straightforward: lift the cases, wheel them out, and merge back into the flow of passengers. But this time, their every move was tracked. Investigators have clear
That's what I'm saying. When you think that you slick, you're not.
images of each individual while operating their usual procedure. For investigators, the moment of collection was the final piece of proof needed to confirm the conspiracy in action.
I ain't even gonna hold you,
CCTV footage also captured the group wheeling the heavy suitcases through the terminal doors and out onto the forecourt, blending with other passengers heading toward pickup vehicles. As they pushed trolleys and dragged bags across the pavement, their plan appeared to be working until officers closed in. In the airport car park, just as the group began loading the luggage into waiting cars, National Crime Agency teams...
Boy, they thought they was free and clear too, didn't they? You're going to jail, buddy.
Teams moved in. Within moments, 6 suspects were surrounded and arrested, and all 6 suitcases were seized before they could leave the airport grounds. Inside, investigators found an astonishing 180 kilograms of cocaine.
Yeah, it's over. 180 keys, yeah. You're going to get more time for this than a murder in the UK.
Compressed into blocks and tightly wrapped for distribution. The value of the haul was staggering.
Yeah, the value. Let me guess the value. 180 keys. This got to be like 40 million. Nah, it's like 30 million.
Experts calculated its wholesale worth at around £5 million, with a potential street value of £14.4 million.
Oh, that's not that bad. 14. I was thinking street value, but okay, I was a little. In America, it's 30.
Once broken down into smaller deals. For the NCA, the bust represented not just the disruption of a single smuggling run, but the dismantling of an entire family-led trafficking pipeline. Photographs released later by the CPS showed seized packages stacked together, a stark visual of what the family had risked everything to transport.
Yeah, what? Who got what? Let me hear the sentencing.
Now, before we move on to the sentences handed down in court for the Cowzer family, let's pause to uncover another shocking case.
Oh, we doing multiple cases? Oh, this wig man.
One that began with a single mistake at Birmingham Airport.
Bro, what's going on in Birmingham? I'm coming, but should I be worried? No, I'm just playing, but golly. The airport.
In February 2016, security staff at Birmingham Airport were carrying out what seemed like a routine inspection at the departure gates. Among the passengers preparing to board a flight to Pakistan was Majid Hussein, a man who presented himself like any other traveler.
Bro is killing me with this wig. Please. Bro looked like Patti LaBelle with this wig on.
But in his hand luggage, officers found something that changed the course of his life: a wrap of heroin. The discovery was so surprising because of its simplicity. Investigators later noted that Hussein had not hidden the drug inside a false compartment, nor had he tried to disguise it in elaborate packaging. Instead, the heroin was placed inside his carry-on bag. That small oversight instantly exposed him to further scrutiny. Airport staff raised the alarm, and Hussein was detained on the spot.
Yeah, he tweaking. He tweaked. This is why you can never trust an addict to do the work.
What began
He's supposed to be working. He getting high.
as a minor-looking find quickly spiraled into something much larger. His behavior and the presence of heroin in his bag triggered suspicions that he was not a casual user, but someone with ties to a broader criminal network. Within hours, the airport incident had escalated into a full-scale investigation. The idea that such a seasoned dealer could be undone by something so basic fascinated investigators.
Never get high on your own supply because you do dumb stuff like this guy.
They considered whether Hussein's confidence had turned into carelessness, assuming that he would breeze through checks, or whether he had genuinely been sloppy in preparing for the journey. Either way, the result was the same. The wrap of heroin in his carry-on served as the thread that began to unravel the rest of his hidden world. This airport blunder was not just about a misplaced packet of drugs. It was the key that unlocked a much larger story, leading authorities directly to Hussein's home and exposing a stockpile of drugs.
They went to your crib? Oh, yeah, you cooked. Yeah, you're cooked.
Weapons and cash, far beyond what anyone could have expected from a single passenger at a security check. Once Hussein was detained at Birmingham Airport, officers quickly secured warrants to search his home address on Nansen Road, Saltley.
How much? So they found a wrap of dog. I'm going to call it dog. What's a wrap out there? Because a wrap out here can go anywhere from $5, $10, $20 wrap. Like, how much is the wrap? Let's just assume, let's lowball it. From a £5 wrap, they got a warrant, because that's probable cause to search your house. Overcooked. He scrambled, buddy.
What began as an arrest for a single wrap of heroin soon escalated into the exposure of a far larger and more dangerous operation.
Just dumb.
The raid revealed that Hussein was not a low-level courier making a reckless mistake. He was a prominent figure in Birmingham's drug trade, with access to both serious quantities of narcotics and firearms. During the search, officers went directly to Hussein's bedroom, where they made their most disturbing discoveries. Hidden under his bed was a suitcase containing 1 kilo of heroin and 4 kilos of cocaine, estimated to have a street value of around £250,000.
Once again,
this confirmed suspicions that the airport wrap was just a fraction of his supply and that Hussein had been involved in regular distribution. But drugs were only part of the picture.
So how did they figure that, though? Like, they was just going off a hunch and was like, let's check his home. Or is that just routine?
Inside the same property, police located an arsenal of weapons that underscored just how dangerous Hussein was. Among the finds was a semi-automatic handgun, fully capable of lethal use, alongside 27 rounds of live ammunition. Officers also uncovered a stun gun cleverly disguised as a mobile phone, a piece of equipment designed to incapacitate without drawing immediate attention. An air pistol was also seized, adding to the collection of weapons that highlighted Hussein's readiness to
I'm trying to gather what because we use the word arsenal, and I only heard 3 weapons so far, and one of them ain't really even nothing.
Force or protect his criminal activities through violence if necessary. Perhaps most telling of all was the discovery of £300,000 in cash stashed away in the house. Bundled notes pointed to extensive illegal earnings and a thriving drug enterprise that had been operating well before his arrest at the airport. For investigators, the money symbolized the profits Hussein had been reaping.
And bro could have continued going beneath the radar. Even to have 4 keys and a key dog, you still like, in America, you below the radar if you're doing this type of, with these quantities. But bro had to take that dog. Man, they don't got what I need where I'm going. Let me take this. And he was real strung out. He was on heroin. I understand if he was maybe doing a little booger sugar here and there like Scarface, but bro he was next level in it.
While his community bore the consequences of addiction and violence. The raid left no doubt. Majid Hussein was not an unlucky passenger caught with a misplaced rap, but a well-armed and well-financed dealer. The combination of drugs, firearms, and vast cash reserves painted a picture of a man at the center of a dangerous and toxic network. When the case against Majid Hussein came before Birmingham Crown Court in August 2016, the scale of his criminality was laid out in full. Prosecutors guided the jury through all the evidence investigators had collected, evidence we have already covered earlier, which convinced the court that Hussein was not simply a careless passenger, but a dangerous and high-level dealer. Hussein
And the jury slammed him.
chose to plead guilty on the opening day of his trial. The charges
Can you plead out? Can you plead out before your trial out here in the UK? He ain't had no co-defendants or nothing. I would have played out. Don't even take me to trial. First day I plead guilty. No. Let's not even go to trial then. Talk to me in the chambers. Yeah, I want to plead out. I want to plead out without giving nothing up. Just, yeah, I did it. Here, yeah, I admit. Can I get a lesser sentence?
included possession of a prohibited firearm, possession of a disguised firearm, possession of ammunition, possession of Class A drugs with intent to supply, and possession of criminal property.
I'm surprised they didn't get you for transport too.
Admitting the offences, he avoided a contested trial, but
okay, so he did. Okay.
the evidence was already overwhelming.
Yeah,
During sentencing, Judge Patrick Thomas QC
he's gonna get 30, 40 years.
delivered a sharp assessment. He described the mixture of guns and drugs as a toxic combination, highlighting how dangerous such a pairing was for the wider public. The court imposed a sentence of 12 years in prison.
$12 years? Hey, salute. That judicial system over there is something else. I ain't even gonna lie. Let me not speak on drug charges then, because I must not know nothing. Bro got caught with 4 keys of dog, 4 keys of white, key of dog, guns, ammo.
Even after Majid Hussein's conviction, the case did not end at the courtroom doors.
Where'd it end?
Investigators from West Midlands Police continued to pursue him through a Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, hearing, determined to claw back the money he had made through his illegal empire. For them, seizing the profits was just as important as securing the conviction. In December 2017, Birmingham Crown Court concluded that he had illegally benefited by hundreds of thousands of pounds. He was formally ordered to repay £295,000
To who?
within 3 months. The ruling was stark: either surrender the money or face an additional 3 years in prison on top of his 12-year sentence.
I'm going 15. Yeah. Nah, give me the 3 years. That's it. I already got this light 12 that I'm only going to serve 50% of. That's 6. Add the 3. I'm out in 7. Probation. I still got my little bread. I'm just saying.
Investigators also noted that a further £33,000 of criminal benefit would remain outstanding, to be recovered once additional assets were identified. While Majid Hussein's empire collapsed through carelessness, another smuggler would soon attempt a far bolder move.
Who?
In November 2021, the routine rhythm of Birmingham Airport
No, Birmingham is different. So this whole episode is Birmingham.
was once again disrupted when officers stopped a passenger whose calm composure masked a fortune in narcotics. The man was Muhammad Rashid, a 35-year-old from Oldham in Greater Manchester, who had just arrived on a flight from Sialkot in Pakistan via Dubai. On the surface, he looked like an ordinary traveler returning from a trip abroad, yet hidden in his luggage was a consignment that investigators would later describe as both staggering in size and alarming in purity. Border Force officers directed
So it came straight from Pakistan, though.
Rashid to a secondary search area. The inspection revealed that his checked-in baggage contained nearly 18 kilograms of heroin, packed in multiple tightly wrapped packages.
It's over.
Forensic analysis confirmed that the drugs were of exceptionally high purity, between 66% and 71%. In street terms, this single haul carried an estimated value of more than £900,000.
Yeah. It's 18 keys, he said, and it's 70-something purity. You probably gonna hit that like 9 times before it leave the house. Yeah, it's over.
What stood out most in this initial encounter was Rashid's demeanor. CCTV footage released
18 turned to 38.
by the National Crime Agency later showed him moving through the terminal calmly, without hesitation, pushing his bags as though nothing was amiss. From the outset, Rashid attempted to distance himself from the evidence. Confronted with the heroin found in his luggage, his first offense was denial. He claimed that the bags did not belong to him. When that explanation failed to align with boarding records and travel documents, he shifted his story, insisting that the packages must have been planted inside his luggage without his knowledge.
How?
The truth of Rashid's role became clearer when officers examined his mobile phone. Hidden among ordinary contacts and apps were WhatsApp messages exchanged during his journey. The messages were with a contact he referred to simply as
Well, apparently he only gonna get 5 years, so it don't even matter.
brother, a handler based in Pakistan, who appeared to be monitoring Rashid's movements and offering him guidance as he passed through each stage of the trip. One particular message stood out. As Rashid approached airport security, nervous about whether he would be
There go that red desk.
stopped,
Oh, that's Jet 2
brother
holiday.
reassured him with
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. To jail, buddy.
the words, "Remain tension-free. God will be generous."
God will be generous. Do drug dealers really be talking about God when they doing this? I remember when I was outside, I wasn't giving God nothing. This was all the devil. Don't tweak and bring God into it.
Phrasing was meant to calm him, to encourage him to walk naturally through the checks. But in hindsight, it served as chilling evidence of how Rashid had been managed in real time, almost like a puppet directed from afar. For the National Crime Agency, the phone
He gonna snitch.
evidence was crucial. It revealed not only Rashid's complicity, but also
Rashid
the wider structure
snitching.
of a professional supply chain. This was not the act of a lone man smuggling drugs for personal gain.
Rashid,
It was
did
part
you
of a
snitch?
carefully organized network that recruited couriers, financed flights, and coordinated movements across international borders. Rashid was just one link in that chain, but his arrest exposed vulnerabilities that the NCA would
Rashid snitched.
continue to exploit. By May 2022, Rashid appeared at Birmingham Crown Court to face judgment. He entered a guilty plea to importation of Class A drugs, an acknowledgement that he had knowingly attempted to bring the heroin into the UK.
Okay.
The plea spared him a trial, but the sentence reflected the seriousness of the crime.
They ain't gonna tell us if he told any on his counterparts.
9 years in prison.
9 years.
The case-
How did he get 9 years in the other case before this got 12 years? You see how there's no consistency in the UK on sentencing? Like they had more on the other case, and
Of Muhammad Rashid underscored a recurring theme already evident in other Birmingham airport busts. His story
I'm
joined
fighting
the
that.
long list of examples used by the NCA to remind others that the lure of fast cash is always outweighed by the certainty
oh wait, the other case before this got 12 years. He got 9. The same almost.
of eventual capture and punishment. Now let's return to the first case, where we
Here we
left the
go.
Bradford family caught at Birmingham Airport,
Here we go.
and uncover what happened when they finally faced sentencing in court.
Tell me, let me know. Sentencing. Let me sit back.
When the Cowzer family and their associate finally stood before Birmingham Crown Court in late 2024, the scale of their crimes was matched only by the severity.
I'm going to guess that the sentencing went from... It probably ranged from 8 to 18 years. No. Because they went multiple times. They was transposed. They probably go from 8 to... I'm going to guess 30.
Of the sentences imposed. At the center was Farzana Cowzer, identified as the ringleader, and was sentenced to 13 years and 4 months.
13 years. I'm off.
In prison. Her children each received significant custodial terms. Junaid Shafak, 33, was sentenced to 10 years and 9 months.
10 years.
While Muhammad Amir Shafak, 28, received 8 years and 9 months.
8 years.
Umair Muhammad, 22, was handed 8 years and 1 month. And the youngest, Hamza Shafak, who was just 17 at the time of the smuggling runs, was dealt with separately due to his age. By the time of the trial, he had turned 18, and according to the Crown Prosecution Service, his sentencing was scheduled for October 2025, meaning the court had not yet delivered a final decision at
next month.
The time of reporting. Safar Noor, 19 at the time, was jailed for 7 years and 2 months for her role in the conspiracy. The family's daughter-in-law Majid Hussein, 27, was given a 2-year sentence, suspended for 2 years. The lone non-family member, Khalid Abdul Qawi, 36, was sentenced to 10 years and 9 months in prison.
Yes.
What do you think about the...
See, I'm talking about 30 years in America. You're getting slammed. Hey, you're never getting out of jail with that type of stuff. You might never... You gonna at least have some gray hair. 100%.